Hi, welcome back to Future Fast. And once again, we have Dr. Shyam Parakash Sharma with us. And those of you who are here for the first time, I sincerely urge you, please go back and look up the first part of our conversation where he shares his journey and also a lot of conversation on astrology there, and also in the context of how astrology as a science. So please do catch up on that. And continuing with this, of course, he is a professor in Sanskrit with uh, a huge reputation and also a TV personality, particularly in the space of astrology. And today, Shama, welcome back to Future Past. I
Yeah.
want to start with particularly you mentioned mundane astrology is one of your specialty areas, right?
Okay.
And you said mundane astrology deals with prediction
Of the world.
of the world, right? So, uh, so does it mean it talks about if there will be an earthquake or volcano or weather calamity, or it can also mean what will be the performance of an election or a match? I mean, what does it involve?
Exactly. Everything, it includes everything. Basically, mundane means earth. Astrology means prediction. So, according to mundane astrology, every year a mundane astrologer is supposed to predict. Before I speak about mundane astrology, I'll just request you to go back to my YouTube channel, SUDHARMA SPYES, wherein I have done the recording of 2024 mundane astrology predictions, wherein definitely you can come to know, or you can watch. If you watch that, you will come to know that very clearly I have told that the mountains will slide and several lives will go. So please tell the people to go away from such places. Everything. 9 months back only I have predicted everything.
So we will have these links in the below this podcast, so you
Yeah,
can.
definitely you can have. The
Yeah.
only problem is I have spoken in Kannada, and those who don't know Kannada may not be able to understand.
All
But
right.
very shortly we are planning to upgrade that, and when I speak, even the English sentences or the words will come onto the screen. Like that we are planning. But
Perfect.
definitely you can, anyone can see my predictions, which I have predicted in last December,
Right.
9 months
Well,
back.
in your prediction, I remember seeing it, but I don't remember the specifics now. In your predictions, were you able to say that, like we had it in Kerala, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so, are you, when you look at, I mean, you say it's basically astronomical data is what, right? That helps you do this prediction, correct?
Hmm. Right.
So, does it help you to pinpoint, or to what degree can you pinpoint whether it happens one in India from a world point of view, or south of India, or Kerala, or within Kerala? To what degree can you actually narrow down to in this?
So basically, while predicting in medical astrology, we consider the country, means India,
Or not the
Pakistan.
medical astrology, the mundane astrology?
Sorry, mundane astrology.
Okay.
We come to the part of country like India, China, Pakistan, then uh, some parts of Europe, like that. When the planetary positions are not good, let me say, for example, the sun planet, if the sun planetary position is not proper in the regular planetary motion, what we call as gochara in Sanskrit, then various kinds of political issues may happen. That also I have predicted very earlier. And you can see in the Karnataka politics, all these things are happening.
Okay. So you can actually narrow it down to one state, is it?
Yeah,
Or
definitely. One
it's a
state
broad
also
base?
we can do it.
Okay.
And even for country also we can predict. And depending upon the planetary positions in the regular planetary motions, what we call
Oh,
as gochara.
Right. Is it possible to do these predictions even for one city? I mean, how narrow can you go with this kind of a prediction?
Even in the narrower version also we can go. The problem is we have to calculate more.
Okay. Okay.
If you
But how
calculate
narrow
more
can
and
it be?
more, definitely your predictions can be predicted to, apart from country, you can predict to state, you can predict to any city, or you can predict to some area also. The thing
Oh,
is,
no, no, no.
calculations will be more.
How big would the area? I mean, what is the
Calculations are,
maximum level you can
it
go
is
to?
very lengthy calculation. It is very lengthy because
Oh,
I
but you
predict
can go to
only,
any point, is it? I mean, it can go down to, say,
it will go
30,
to
40
several
size.
pages.
Sorry?
It will go to several pages. Calculation will go to several pages.
Okay. Okay.
We have to calculate everything, starting from sunrise, sunset, longitude, everything we have to calculate. Then we have to see the planetary positions of that at a particular time.
Then
Let me
why are you keeping away from computer? Why do you do it physically? Probably using computers can make it faster and easier for you, right?
maybe, but these kinds of subtle astrological calculations, I think nobody has done in the internet field. Because as we have in some Vedic classical texts, we have some sacrifices, Vedic sacrifices. For that, you cannot get any information either in Google or in YouTube or anywhere because nobody has done it. Basically, the Hindu Sanskrit Pandits, they want to hide all those things from the external world. That is why they have not released or they have not spoken anywhere regarding these kind of things.
Okay. Okay.
That
So
is one of the major, in fact, we can say attitude only of the Hindu Sanskrit scholars. They don't want to, even I don't want to disclose anything to the world unless until if they are seriously interested and if they directly come to me and ask me, then only I will disclose.
why not? Why not? I mean, why not do a open source model in this?
Yeah,
More
because
people can see. It's
basically, as I
not
told,
that they will not come back to consult you, right? Because you anyway champion it. But some enthusiasts, if they want to look at it, I mean, if there can be a app kind of a thing, which is probably comes from you itself, at least to some degree, maybe it can help. And for the next level, for specific things, they could come to you.
see, basically, I have the profound knowledge about the mundane astrology or medical astrology. The problem is nobody has met me and they have never asked like you to give the knowledge to the external world. That is why I have not given because I am not much well versed in these kind of electronic medias.
Okay.
Usually, because I have a lot of Sanskrit granthas at my home, I have my own library. I keep on studying and doing research on one or the other thing. But nobody has asked me this kind of thing. If any people is really interested, definitely I can share my knowledge.
The links are below. So any of you want to reach out to him, please feel free to reach out. And he will respond. Perhaps he may take a little time to respond, but he will respond on that. Well, in fact, see, globally, there is a some kind of a polarization, right? Those who believe astrology, those who don't believe astrology. I'm saying Indians are non-Indians also. I think there are people who believe in astrology in every part of the world. But given that, to say that in Indian context and mundane astrology of Indian way of doing it is better than anybody else. How does that work? See, globally, since there are people believing different kinds of astrology, how do you make an argument that Indian way of astrology that you practice is better than any other kind of astrology they practice in any other part of the world? Because there are believers of astrology in all parts of the world.
Yeah. Basically, when you come to the Indian astrology, the Western astrology or the Western numerology that is being developed by some great people or scholars like that. Whereas the Indian astrology and Indian philosophy and such other things, theology and such other things, they are developed by great sages who knew the past, present, and future also very well. Are you able to hear?
Yes, please.
So when you just see the predictions, coming to the prediction part, when you just see the prediction part that is being written in technical text of astrology, definitely you can test it and you can accept it. Because as I said in the previous yesterday's meeting, it is purely based on mathematical calculations. If you want to say, if anybody wants to say that astrology is wrong, then inevitably they are saying that mathematics is wrong.
Oh, okay. So you're saying the others astrology, what they are following is not very mathematical based. So that is why you said this is better than them. Is that
It may not be so logical.
okay?
Because ours, I don't want to say it is scientific, as you were saying yesterday, scientific astrologers and other things they put in front of their house. It is not like scientific astrology, it is logical astrology. As you have
Do you
evidence
also
technique.
attribute to Vedic astrology? Because there is one young chap who's regarded pretty highly. In fact, I think recently he was traveling to some Southeast Asian countries, and there he was interviewed by their media, and they refer to him as Vedic astrologer.
Okay.
So do you identify yourself as a Vedic astrologer, or what is this identification of a Vedic astrologer? Where does that come?
Let me clear you first. The basic purpose of astrology began in our Shastras for the auspicious time that should be extracted for some sacrifices, for making some vows, means vratas, and all those things. For those things, basically, the astrology was developed.
Okay.
Basically, there was no prediction part when the astrology was developed several millions years ago.
So what is this labeling of Vedic astrology then? Is it
Vedic astrology means, as I said yesterday, it is the branch of knowledge of calculating the auspicious and inauspicious time for performing any kind of good or bad deeds.
So what you do is also Vedic astrology then?
Part of Vedic astrology, need not be completely. The prediction part doesn't come under the Vedic astrology. Vedic astrology, the Vedic astrology classical text will never teach you the prediction part.
Oh, okay. But this boy is a young chap. He is actually making a lot of predictions. I think there was some predictions about him even on the US elections.
Okay.
And he is identified as a Vedic astrologer. He talks about himself as a Vedic astrologer.
Okay.
I'm forgetting his name. It's a young person. I think he's also from Bangalore.
He's from Bangalore. That Pragna something.
Correct.
That Pragna.
Young chap.
I have seen his videos actually.
Yes.
That's what in the very beginning I was going to say about that. There are two kinds of prediction makers in this world.
Okay.
Basically, those who study the astrological Hindu classical texts, like what we have Varaha Mihirasa, Brihajataka, Hoda Shastra, Hoda Pala, Hoda Ratna, Hoda Deepika. These are all then Rajamartanda. These are all astrological classical texts. Those who study all those things, to study minimum you have 20 to 30 astrological technical texts. To study all those things, minimum you require 15 years of continuous study.
Yeah, I think that
after having 15 years of continuous study,
yeah.
then they can predict, and their predictions will be quite accurate. The other part is those who have some supernatural powers. They might have gone to Himalaya and they have been blessed by some Himalayan seers, and out of their austerities, means tapas, or through some supernatural powers, definitely they can predict.
Okay, so So what do you say? Is this boy's claim as a Vedic astrologer is right,
No, I
wrong?
don't think so, because here I don't think that he has studied any classical texts or anything like that. It
Okay.
is some supernatural power that is acting upon him. That's
Oh,
all.
but well, he actually says it's Vedic astrology. He studied it, and he's able to do computation. That's how he puts it across. He does not refer to, or maybe because people don't want to believe such things, is it?
The problem is people won't believe if if he says like that. That is why I think he is hiding the original fact.
Okay. Okay. Well, okay, that's one. And coming to medical astrology,
Yeah, tell me.
how does that work? Is it something which has always been part of astrology, or is it something you have been researching and it's something that you are trying to draw meaning out of the possibilities of astrology? How does that work?
Basically, we have the part of medical astrology from the root works of astrology,
Okay.
but nobody has recognized it particularly. While doing some researches, maybe around 20, 22 years back, I came to know that they were given there is a classical text called Phaladipika in astrology, that is written by a great astrologer, Mantreshwara. Mantreshwara Krita Paladipika, it is a classical astrological text wherein you can find the possible diseases for a horoscope. He has quoted the various kinds of diseases that a person is going to get with the combination of various planets, and even through single planets also. For example, if sun is affected in anyone's horoscope, he will have some eye problem, headache, heart problem, all these things. Sun indicates head, eye, heart, then bones, all these things. Moon indicates face, liquid part of the blood. Actually, in allopathy, they call it as only blood. But in medical astrology, we uh, bifurcate the blood into liquid part of the blood and solid part of the blood. Puja indicates the solid part of the blood, wherein muscles are also indicated. And the planet Mars, it indicates ENT problems, then accidents. Puja, the Mars planet, he indicates accidents, any kind of quarrels, any kind of bodily wounds, any kind of unnatural deaths. These are all indicated by the planet Mars. Similarly, the planet Mercury, it indicates all kinds of skin diseases, nervous problem, then respiration problem, like this. We have for each and everything, because in medical astrology, the head is indicated by sun, face is indicated by moon, then ENT is indicated by planet Mars, then the chest part is respiration part is indicated by Mercury, the heart and the lower abdomen is indicated by Jupiter, the lower abdomen and the genital organs are indicated by Venus, leg is thigh is indicated by Saturn, from thigh to foot it is indicated by Rahu, and the foot is indicated by Ketu. Like this, all the 9 planets we have divided in our body only. Similarly, we have astrologically 12 houses. We call it as bhavas. Each and every bhava indicates each and every external and internal parts of a person.
Well, is it similar for man and a woman? Because
yeah, it is totally similar. There is no difference.
So gender is not an aspect in when you break down on the medical astrology.
There is no difference. Very slightly they may vary, because for example, when we say when Chandra and Shukra are affected in female's horoscope, they will have some breast problem. That may not be applicable to men, like that. Very slight differences will be there.
So that comes on the interpretation side, but
Yeah, that comes on the interpretation. That is why we.
What about children, right? Before puberty, after puberty? Because that is an aspect, right? From a physiology.
Kujendu hetu pratimasamartavam. That is the sutra that is given by the medical astrologers in technical texts, astrological texts. Means the planets, moon and Mars, they are the primordial cause for the menstruation cycle in female.
Yeah, but before they get into that cycle itself, because they will be, as children, they will still be growing, right?
All that there is a different thing. We call it as Baladishta.
Okay.
In Baladishta, actually, I have done video, authentic video on Baladishta also in my YouTube channel. Definitely, anybody can see that I have given why the children are going to die before 12 years of age. For every 4 years, we have different aspects. Everything I have explained in detail, because from birth till 4 years, completion of 4 years, it is because of the sin of mother, the child is going to die. From 4 to 8 years, it is because of the sin of the father, the child is going to die. It is because of the sin of the child itself in its previous birth, the child is going to die between 8 to 12 years. Like this in Baladishta, in astrology, coming to the calculation of lifespan, the calculation of OS, lifespan, we have several classifications like this.
Well, what do you think about, we've had people who are working, researching on longevity.
Yeah.
Right? They're talking about an average person, anybody, any of us would live to minimum 120 years and 120 healthy years.
Yeah.
Right. And then there are transhumanists. We've had a couple of transhumanists as guests in the past. And one of them is the very famous Zoltanist one as well. So these people are talking about living for 1,000 years.
Okay.
So
for that also we have in astrological lifespan calculation. Alpayu, Madhyamayu, Dirghayu, Amitayu. Like this. So according to yogic science, in our ancient Indian yogic science, if you want to listen properly, if you want to live for 500 years, 1,000 years, or even more, definitely you can live. The only thing is, it depends on your food system and lifestyle.
Well, you just mentioned past karma, right? I mean, how does this align? One is the karma and then you have the food. They don't clash, or there is a correction? How are you saying that?
No, we Indians believe in reincarnation, punarjanma.
Correct.
And we nowadays, even as I was observing in YouTube channels, and some of the scientists also, they have come to a conclusion that punarjanma can be interpreted by seeing several cases even in India also, and even in foreign countries also. Because last month I was seeing some video in YouTube wherein some boy around 5 to 6 years, he was telling that this is not my house is in somewhere else. And even along with the media people, they have taken that boy to the earlier place where he was mentioning the place. And they have gone to that place, and very clearly he was telling that this is my father, this is my brother, and this is my playing area, everything. They were shocked.
I saw that. And also
I
his
have
wife,
seen
right?
these kind of things, so many things in various videos. So nowadays, the psychologists basically, in fact, the psychologists have come to a conclusion that definitely reincarnation is there.
Okay, what's your opinion on past life regression?
Past life?
Regression, as they call it, right? There are quite a few people who do that. They call it past life regression. So you can go to them. They will, I don't know, I've never done that myself, but I think probably they put you through hypnosis and then make you recount your past lives.
See, this comes under basically super science. Even in astrology, the 5th house from the ascendant means lagna. It is meant for the past life, how he was, he or she, it may be. So whether he was good in his past life, whether he was bad in past life, or whether he is of mixed results in past life, because very basically astrology, when you come to the prediction part, there will be three kinds of predictions. One is all positive predictions, one is negative predictions, one is mixed, both positive and negative. Only three kinds of
So
predictions
when
you
you
can
say
find.
negative in the context of
Negative
an
means
outcome,
bad predictions.
predicting bad or something bad happening?
Predicting bad.
Okay.
See, for example, in regular planetary motion or in a person's horoscope, if Mars planet is posited in 8th house from the Lagna, usually most of the classical texts say that he will be alpayu. His lifespan will be less, or he is going to meet accidents in his life, wherein he will be wounded physically. This I have tested in many cases and it has come true, because whatever the predictions that are given by astrologers, usually I test and I agree from the past 30 years.
See, even in Chiro's book of palmistry,
Yeah.
I think, if I remember, I may not remember verbatim, what he says is that your future is in your hand, and the lines in our hand keeps changing depending on our own actions.
Okay.
So and the implications are, I think, not immediate but over a period of time. So what do you say for that?
Basically, as I was saying yesterday, palm reading, we have some classical texts which will be limited to some basic level. We don't get advanced palm reading texts in Indian Sanskrit based classical texts.
Okay.
Or it might be there. Very unfortunately, it has not been printed.
Okay. Well, what do you
Because
say for that Nadi? Uh, uh, I've only seen it in videos. I've even heard it from some people that they have gone to some temple in Tamil Nadu. They call it Nadi Shastra, but basically they
Nadi
are
Shastra, yeah.
written in leaves.
Yeah.
So, but the way they identify your particular leaf is that they hold your Nadi, and I think they ask for some details. I forgot what details. And then they go bring up this very same thing.
Nadi Shastra is totally different, because you have technical history for all those Nadi Shastra, because in very olden days, means in the Adi Yuga, what we call it as Krita Yuga, then Lord Brahma actually he has ordained certain sages to write the past, present, and future of human beings in general. That is called as Nadi Shastra in our term. But basically, when they were writing and they were busy in writing, once Lord Brahma wanted to see how they are writing, he came and he just asked some questions with sages, but the sages didn't answer, because they were immersed in writing, thinking, and writing the Nadi Granthas. So Brahma, he became angry and he cursed all those people, and whatever they are writing after that, that should not become true. That is what the bane that he gave, and after that he went. This is how we read some story in some book.
Well, another thing is last conversation and also in this conversation, you time and again mention astrology is science of identifying the right time, muhurta, for any act, particularly it came from the context of picking a right time to do particular
Sacrifice,
ritual,
yagna
yaga, and even offering, right? See how relevant some of those things in present context, because there were references to even giving away cows and giving away gold, a lot of those things, right? So
Yeah.
how relevant are they in present context? Because one, first of all, even cows are very expensive, right? And how many people can even afford giving away a lot of these kind of things, let alone even be aware first to be aware that they should be doing these things. So how contextual are they in present day and time?
See, in very olden days, there was no currency or money like what we have today. If a person is rich, if you want to call a person as rich, then they used to the society used to calculate how many cows he have. It is the number of cows. If he have 50 cows, 100 cows, 1,000 cows, that is how they used to calculate. Then land. So not like you have 10 crores, 50 crores, like money or currency, what we have today. Because
No, but
lifestyle changes
even
from
having
time to
land
time.
also is a challenge today, right? I mean,
Yeah. Land, even that day also it was there. Today also it is there. In future also it will be there. But these cattling and cow and other things, the other animals, domestic animals, how much he possess, based on that society or people, they used to calculate how rich he was. Because in those days, in olden days, like in Krita Yoga, Treta Yoga, because we believe in the Yoga concept in Hinduism. So like that, if you calculate in Krita Yoga, Treta Yoga and Dwapara Yoga, in those days or in those yugas, people, they used to calculate the richness of a person by the number of cows and some other domestic animals like that. And as I said, land also.
yeah, but today,
Apart from these two things, they used to calculate gold also.
right,
Silver, most of the people were not keeping silver much at home in olden days. They were calculating it on gold and gems.
right. So how relevant is that? I mean, who should take responsibility of correcting these things? How do
The
you
lifestyle has
attribute
changed.
what is equivalent to a cow in today's context? Because there are people who are billionaires and there are people who are daily wages.
That's what the lifestyle has changed. In olden days, they used to calculate uh, number of cows, but today it has come to the currency level. If you have money,
So
even if
how
you
do you
don't have,
change that? How do you make it? Can you quantify it to a percentage of the cash they hold? How do you make it relevant in today's context?
in today's context, I don't think it is able to predict, because the if a person is rich, olden days, uh, we were not giving land, or we were not selling land. Actually, land selling was not legal in our ancient times, because you are supposed to give it as dana, bhudana.
Right,
In olden, when kings were ruling, then this selling land was prohibited.
right,
Even Chanakya in his uh, economics, Kautilya Saptashastra, he says that.
right. And so, what is the correction for today?
That's what for in today's lifestyle, total lifestyle has been changed. The number of cows and other things, they have removed all those things, and they have brought the currency system from several centenaries. So definitely, as the lifestyle is changed, now the richness is calculated in terms of money.
So, is that whole effort of yaga, yagna, is effective, considering that you're actually saying that you give a cow or gold or whatever, but not doing it and substituting with some rupees corresponding to one's own affordability? How effective will the whole process be then?
See, the process, if you do it properly, even today, it will be effective. One incident I'll tell you.
Maybe
No,
in
sorry.
19.
Properly means it has nothing to do with what they actually offer.
Which one?
See, when you say if one does it properly, it is effective. So I'm asking if it means properly, it has
That's what
nothing to do with
Vedic.
what
I am
one
coming.
offers. Huh.
I am coming to Vedic sacrifices. In olden days, people means the scholars, Brahmin Pandits, they used to sacrifice Vedic sacrifices. For example, that's what I was about to mention. Maybe I don't remember the exact year, 1980, 81, 82, in those period. There was a huge drought in Delhi, and at that time, Srimati Indira Gandhi was ruling the country. She was the prime minister. She invited Karnataka Brahmin scholars to perform Parjanya Yaga. It is mentioned in Vedic classical text. If you perform the Parjanya Yaga, definitely it will rain. So even today, that person who went over there, still he is living. He is around 96 years. And some other scholars were also there, but many of them are not now. They are passed away. But another person, his name is Dhali Lakshmi Narayana Bhatt. That great person is till he is alive, and he went in 1981 to perform the Parjanya Yaga in Delhi. After performing the Parjanya Yaga in Delhi, within 2-3 days, huge rain was there in that city. So these are all some Vedic sacrifices, and the ingredients what you put in the homa or havan, that is very important. Even most of the scientists, they used to test what all the ingredients they put in the Vedic sacrifice, and they used to test the chemical component of those ingredients. Then I think I'm not sure, it may be silver peroxide or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but I think so. So that was coming out through the smoke, and that used to cover the complete space, and it's going to give the rain. That is how it has been mentioned in our classical text. This is one incident I am saying. You have several incidents like this in our history.
So if it is that easy, is it that there are no more such qualitative people who have such good understanding, or why is it that that is not employed?
Nowadays, such great scholars have become very less. In olden days, they were like that. Nowadays also they are, but the problem is, the politics in our country very well. So these politicians, they don't believe, and they don't invite such scholars to perform the havans where the drought is there.
Well, Indira Gandhi herself was regarded as very modern thinking, right? I mean, she was
A
not,
little bit atheist, also.
yeah, more close to atheist, because I think she was married to a Muslim man who was a communist. So he was not really a Muslim, he was a communist. I mean, yeah, it is possible that there are Muslims who are communists and still Muslims. But in Firoz Gandhi, I think he was a very strong leftist. So, so
because of those things. But
if she could, why not anybody else consider? I mean, or maybe it is the lack of people, you say? Who can
no, I don't think lack of people, because even today also, definitely, if you, for example, I'll tell you, if you means if the politicians, they consult Sringeri Shankar Mutt or such other mutts all over the country, wherein these things have been taught in our Vedic Gurukula system, definitely there are some pandits who are able to perform some Parjanya Yaga. Even some few years, some 15 years back also, there was some yoga was performed nearby Hunsur, wherein it was not raining from the past 5-6 years, and very recently that was done, and somebody was saying that there was a huge rain after the Havan.
Okay. Well, you just mentioned Sringeri Shankar Math. Of course, in our last conversation, you did mention that the the so-called Matadipatis are not sannyasis. So I'm not touching whether they are sannyasis or not. I just want
Okay.
to get your thoughts on. See, now there are these kind of mutts, right? Sringeri Mutt and
Yeah.
then Adi Chunchandgiri and
Yeah.
uh,
Even in these
UP
Vaishnavas,
Adityanath.
what
They are all uh, of one sampradaya, they say, right? And then
yeah,
there
yeah,
are other mutts across India, which are basically headed by ascetics or sannyasis, right?
okay.
Sringeri Mutt is the Shankaracharyas are required to be sannyasis, but again, that's the conflict, right? Let's not get into that part because you already made. Because if you're a
Yeah,
sannyasi ascetic, you have given away everything, but then sitting onto a position, wearing given a golden crown, so that is a contradiction.
yeah,
Independent of that, so now, not just now, that there are a lot of people in the last few decades, there are a lot of people who are identified as spiritual gurus, and there
okay.
many are doing, to be fair, are doing great work or service by offering free schools, free hospitals, so many such things. But they also are able to do it because they are able to get huge following from across India and even globally.
Yeah,
And some of them, like Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, who's a Vedic scholar, right?
okay.
But then there are people like Sadhguru Jaggi Vasudev who said that on record, he said he has never read Vedas or Upanishads. He even tells, he on record, he says, don't waste your time reading all these things.
Okay.
Okay, so how do you see this? One side, these ascetics running mutts who are very strongly referring everything from the Vedic sense to give any advice or discourse. And then there are the spiritual leaders. Some are, of course, borrowing from Vedas, as they claim from Sri Sri Ravi Shankar. And then some, like Sadhguru, who says nothing from Veda. Thing. Neither he claims he's a sannyasi because he was married. He has a daughter.
Yeah,
So, where does this? How do you see this contradiction, and what do you think people should look for when they are seeking a spiritual thing? I mean, uh, uh, people may be very confused because social media is overloaded with this content coming from everywhere.
yeah, definitely.
Shankar Mutts to sadhus to, there are even some agoras, babas who are
Aghodis.
agoris who are, I mean, historically, what I was aware that they would never come out in public, but lately there are a few people who have also got social media channels where they're
Yeah,
addressing and advocating what, or if you will, they are spiritual guides. So
okay.
from your sense as a Sanskrit scholar, and also a scholar of Indian philosophy,
Okay.
what's your take on it?
See, in our ancient classical text, very clearly it says that if you want to come to the path of moksha, the liberation or deliverance, then you have to leave the materialistic pleasures and deeds. Very clearly it says. And very frankly speaking, I don't disrespect any modern or neo gurus, but I don't like them at all. My attitude or my thinking is, if you want to give the spiritual knowledge to the people or society, basically you must have experienced it. Because I am a gold medalist in logic, I believe in logic very well. So when you yourself has not experienced, what can you give or how can you give anything to the public or the people? I don't think these people, whomever you have mentioned, I don't want to even mention the name of those people also. They have never studied anything. They have never uh, read the classical texts. They have never read the Puranas. They have never read the Smritis. They have never read the Vedas. They have never read the Ramayana and Mahabharata and Bhagavad Gita properly. So, without the knowledge of these things, how can they get it? Basically, to say that anything is authentic proof in our total field of knowledge, irrespective of the branch of knowledge, we call that as pramana in Sanskrit. So, for all kinds of pramanas, basically we have four different kinds of pramanas: Shruti, Smriti, Purana, and Itihasa. Shruti means Vedas. Veda is uncountable. Anantavai Vedaha. Veda only says that Anantavai Vedaha means it is you cannot count it. It is countless. Smriti, you have 58 Smritis in Kali Yuga, which I have read all the 58 Smritis. Purana, totally it is 19 Puranas. Once again, I am repeating, it is not 18. 99.99% of the scholars, pontiffs, and other Matadipatis, they call it as 18 Smritis. It is not 18 Smritis, it is totally 19 Smritis.
Purana,
And I have read, yeah, Puranas, mythology. I have read all the 19 Puranas with all the slokas. Nearly it comes to around 4.3 lakh slokas. And Itihasa. Itihasa finally means Ramayana and Mahabharata. Ramayana consists of around 25 to 26,000 slokas, and Mahabharata contains totally 1 lakh slokas. So all these things I have covered. So whatever the question the society asks regarding Indian religion, religious, spiritual, all these things, definitely I am able to answer. I can show the authentic proofs also. Everything I have at my library. I don't bring it to outside. If anybody wants the authentic proof, personally they have to come and meet me, then I'll show them.
Well,
That is my policy.
Just to simplify, what you're saying is that any of these spiritual gurus, by virtue of them not really being authentic to from a point of their own learning and understanding of Vedas and Upanishads and Puranas, they are not well placed to help others in their own spiritual.
Certainly, because
so are there people you think who qualify this, so that people should ideally look up these kind of people? Are there anybody you want to recommend as who could be the ideal choice of spiritual guru?
Nowadays, it is almost negligible. One person I strongly believe is regarding spirituality and spiritual field or branch of knowledge. It is the senior Sringeri Jagadguru Shri Shri Bharati Tirtha Swami. He is a very great and renowned scholar. He has studied, as I said earlier, I have studied all these things. He has studied Vedas, Smritis, all those things. May not be completely each and every sloka of Puranas. I don't know about that. I don't know whether he has read Puranas, all the 4.3 lakh slokas completely or not. I don't know about it. But he is a very great scholar. He has depth of knowledge.
No, but a problem is that people like him are not very accessible to common people, right? Unlike Sri Sri or Sadguru or many of those people, even Amma, that Amritanandamai. See, all these people are very accessible, and they are available digitally also today. Whereas I know Sringeri Shankar Mat, the junior pontiff.
Videshekara Bharati.
So he's available. He's giving a lot of discourses. He is available
because our senior Swamiji is allowing him to go to the external world, because in those days we call it as purely the purity, muddy concept was there.
Correct.
As I said earlier, even today, even my policy is I don't want to give knowledge to anyone simply as it is. Even our Upanishad says that If anybody asks any question regarding spiritual science, don't give it as it is. You
Why?
test
Why?
him first. You test him first. That's what I'm saying. You test him first. Whether he is asking to test you or he is asking to know himself, he is really interested in all those things, or he is bluffing. Everything
Okay.
in Upanishad it says. So we ask the people, even if anybody comes, I don't answer. Simply, even if I know the answer, say I don't know, I have not come across this thing. So simply they will push off. Oh, he simply boasts, he doesn't know anything. By making some statements, they will push off. I don't mind, because I want to know whether they want to know really or simply they want to play with us. Because these kind of people have become more and more in today's world. I challenge all the neo gurus openly to the whole world. If you are really capable of enlightening the people of the society through your spiritual knowledge, you just teach Brahma Sutra, you just teach Bhagavad Gita as it is in Sanskrit to English or Kannada, whichever local language you want. Do it. You take the Sanskrit sloka, you teach in English only, word by word, sentence by sentence, you teach. Because if I give a paragraph to you, in Sanskrit, if you want to make it to understand to the student or the mob, you have to give the word by word meaning, then complete sentence, what is the sense of that sentence, everything, then the sense of the paragraph. This is how you are supposed to teach. If you teach like that, part by part, the people can understand in a better manner.
But Shama, somewhere this argument that it has to be by the book is a very argument of monotheistic cultures, right? Jewish, Christianity, and Islam. Anything
Yes.
that comes from the book is the only truth. If it is not in the book, it's not true. So what you are saying
I don't
very similar to.
I don't say like that. That is not my point. Usually, most of the things are in our classical text. In the very beginning, only I told there are two kinds of scholars, irrespective of the field. Those who have studied granthas like me, and the other part is those who have done the penance, tapas. After that, through tapas, they might have got knowledge, like some people who are in Himalayan regions. I think you might be knowing that living with the Himalayan masters and autobiography of a yogi. If you go through all those books, definitely you can come to know
Maybe
about
Ramana
those stages.
Maharshi, you regard him in this line?
Yeah, Ramana Maharshi is a good person. He was a good person. I have seen all those things, but from the past, maybe around 100 years, I have not seen any such a great person. I keep the last cult maybe Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, Ramana Maharshi, Sadashiva Brahma, something, his name is there. All these things. Kaivara Tataya is he is a predictor, actually. He used to predict what will happen in future. But these spiritual people, they have done through their finance, tapas. I am doing the same thing through my lot of studies. Every day I used to study minimum 6 to 7 hours or 8 hours sometimes. I keep on studying, I keep on doing research on one or the other field, like that. So it is, there is still a theory it is going on between many people. I don't know why actually these so-called educated people who express themselves as educated people in the society, they go to such neo gurus and they fall into their feet. Definitely, I don't know, because I don't believe anything. Very basically, I told I am a gold medalist in logic. I want the most authentic proof for each and everything. Without the proof, authentic proof, I don't believe in anything. Without I experience anything, I don't believe in anything or in any person. If I experience, definitely I believe. I have seen the Shankari Swami many times. And my guru used to say he was a personal secretary for him in the field of branch of knowledge and collecting some books and other things. He used to inculcate me that he is a very renowned scholar. So directly I have seen. So I have not seen some other person like that directly. I want to test whoever it may be in the world. I want to test the people, test the depth of knowledge of a person. Then I will see. If I sit for 3 to 4 hours with a person, then I'll definitely I can come to know what will be his depth of knowledge, whether he is bluffing or he is really good or not.
Right. Well,
The main thing is I don't want to come to the external world. But you are making me to come to the external world. I never want to come to the external, because in philosophy there is a saying: if you want to become famous, or if you become famous, your internal achievements will be stopped. Antaranga sadhane, we call it as in Sanskrit, in philosophy. You are not able to attain moksha very easily if you want to become famous, if you have the uh, what the lust towards gold, materialistic pleasures and other things. I was wearing plenty of gold. Now, can you see me? I left it around 7-8 years back only. Everything I left. I advise the people, all the society, first you leave your desires.
well, one more question.
First you leave.
There is an argument. Many people say that in Ramayana, Uttarakanda was not originally written by Valmiki. Was it written by Valmiki, or it is not part of Ramayana?
It is definitely written by Valmiki. Those who don't know the language properly, linguistics properly, they speak like that. I know both Sanskrit language, grammar, linguistics, philology very well. I have gone through, I have scrutinized. Definitely it is written by Valmiki only.
Well,
let them.
The argument is so because they actually say that it is not written by Valmiki, and that argument comes forth to the point that is where Ramayana from Valmiki ends with Rama and Sita being enthroned in Ayodhya. So that Rama asking her to leave and being left her to forest because of listening to some comment. All these things were not originally Ramayana. This was all a fiction brought into demean Rama and the whole thing. So that was the argument for which they say that it was not original. So
those who speak like this, let them give the authentic logical proof for their statements. That is my open challenge.
But in the if Uttara Ramayana is part of Ramayana, then it justifies the argument that how could Sri Rama, who is an avatar of Vishnu, be so ordinary in thinking and listening to, reacting to an argument.
No, I came to know your question. How he left his wife Sita just by listening to the words of some laundryman.
Yeah.
That's what this is the question that I have received from thousands of people.
Okay.
Even when I go to give some public lectures, this is what majorly I get two or three questions in Ramayana. Why did Rama kill Vali by deceiving Vali?
Right.
That in YouTube channel I have made already. YouTube channel I have made the very clear picture of that. Definitely anyone can go through that.
It is in Kannada. So maybe a quick English.
Yeah, it is in Kannada. Hey, because we are more than Indians, we are Karnataka people. Right. That is why we have done in local
for
language.
The benefit of our audience and listeners here, very quickly, why? How do you justify?
Very quickly means say why Rama killed Vali. Dushte dushtam samacharet. There is a logical rule, aphorism in Shastras. Dushte dushtam samacharet. You should do the bad for bad people. Himsite pratihimsanam. Kantakam kantakadeva uddaret. Like this, you have all this gives same meaning almost. So
all these are a justification, not right, but not for somebody who's a Madhyada.
I'm coming to your point only. Let me explain for 2-3 minutes. Why Rama killed Vali? That is the question actually. Vali forcibly he took the wife of Sugriva and he was keeping his Sugriva's wife with him. When Sugriva met Rama for the first time, and when Rama asked that his wife is being kidnapped by Ravana, and can you help me? When he asked like that, then he told that even my wife has been possibly taken by Wali. If you can get my wife back, definitely I can help you. So with this agreement, not only with this agreement, mainly Wali was not a good person. According to ethical science, if a person is bad or very bad or wicked or cruel or shrewd, and he is disturbing or giving trouble to many people in the society, then without any second thought, you are supposed to kill him. This is the verdict that is given in our ethical science. I hope you understood. Okay, based on this concept, since Wali was troubling very much to the noble people, pious people, finally Rama decided, and moreover, he has taken the wife of some other person, which is totally banned in Indian social system, ancient Indian social system. You are not supposed to take someone's wife as it is without the permission of that husband or wife or anything. You don't have any right also, and it is not totally ethical also. So as he was totally unethical and he was not good, he was cruel, he was troubling the people, he was troubling the society, and he was troubling his own brother. Keeping all those things in mind, finally Rama agreed, okay, that I will kill Wali. But according to me, the most intelligent boon Vara was asked by Wali with Brahma was, whoever is going to fight with me in front of me, half of their strength should come to me. That was the most intelligent and tricky boon that was asked by
So that didn't
Wali.
leave much option for Rama to hide and shoot at him.
Yeah, that's why inevitably he has to, because if he stands in front of him, half of his strength will go to Wali. So 1.5 is to half. Whoever fights, even if Lord Shiva fights, if Lord Vishnu fights, 1.5 is to half it used to become. So always he used to win. That was the tricky vara, that was a boon that was asked by Wali actually. So keeping all those things in mind, and keeping most important is he was not good. He was not a pious person. He was a very troublesome person to the whole society. According to Arthashastra, Kautilya's Arthashastra, you should kill them. Public hanging system. It was there. So all those things.
So public
Keeping
hanging
all those things.
sounds like an Islamic rule.
Yeah, it sounds like that. But public hang means exactly, it doesn't mean that public hang actually. The king, in those days, king used to order the butcher to kill that person, or whoever may be the victim, or who has done the
Okay, the
what you
state
call
had
it,
a right to take the life of a person who is
yeah, definitely, who
not
is
good for the
troubling the
community
society.
and society. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now lastly, coming back, so abandoning Sita, what is a logical explanation for that?
Basically, most of the people think that Rama, he listened to the words of an ordinary laundryman, and he sent his wife Sita, who was pregnant at that time, to forest. Basically, it is not the fact. When Sita became pregnant, so as we call it as in Kannada, we call it as Garbhini Bayake. They will have some desires when they are pregnant. They are fond of something in their pregnancy. So she requested Rama that I want to stay for few time in ashramas, hermitages. But he didn't take that very seriously. He was just he kept quiet actually. At the same time, coincidentally, this incident happened when some laundry. It is not just one laundry man. He was what you can say is he was saying that the Sita who went with some person, because laundryman, he is not an educated person. He thought that Sita went with Ravana. He didn't know exactly that Sita was kidnapped. And when Sita was with other person for so many days or months, how can they accept? Any person can accept. Being a husband, how can Rama accept Sita back? But Sita, to test the purity of Sita only, actually Rama, he instructed Sita to get into the fire, and if she is really
But that was already done
virtuous,
that was already done once in Lanka itself, right? Before taking her. So what was the need to do
no,
it again?
that's what, not here. Only once only he did. That's what I am saying, the same incident. In Lanka only he did that. But these people don't know that. That is why they were blaming. Not only one laundryman was blaming. Many people was blaming in the city. So Rama, according to political science, Rajadharma Prakarana, we call it as, according to political science, a king is supposed to give much priority to the people or the citizens than his family. Understand this properly. According to Indian political science, a king is supposed to give much priority to the citizens than his family members, whether it is father, mother, wife, son, or anybody. So he thought of leaving Sita when he received the words from many people. He instructed Lakshmana to leave her to the bank of river Ganga, where the hermitage of Valmiki was there. So he left Lakshmana. He took Sita, who was pregnant at that time. He took her through the chariot and he left her on the bank of river Ganga. And wherein Valmiki, he observed Sita, who was pregnant and who came over there. He took her to his hermitage, and there she gave birth to Lavan. This is the actual fact. But most of the people, they don't know. Simply they say by just listening to the words of some laundryman, Rama left Sita. He didn't leave Sita. He just fulfilled the desires of Sita's pregnancy's desire.
Okay, but what about not taking care of his children and not even being aware of their existence and even
No, he actually, the problem is Sita didn't meet Rama again after the birth of Lava and Kushan.
yeah.
So because she was very comfortable and happy and satisfied with the hermitage life itself. She was very much satisfied with the hermitage life itself. So she actually was practicing or following the hermitage rules very properly, and she instructed her kids, both Lava and Kusha, to stay in the hermitage only. But she never told that Rama is your father. When they meet Rama, when the Ashwamedha Yaga was going on, these Lava and Kusha, without knowing this is the horse of Lord Rama, or knowingly or unknowingly, they tied that Vedic sacrificial horse, and then the war took place between Lavakusha and Shatrughna, Lakshmana, Bharata, all this. Finally, Rama came, and then when there was a war between Rama and his sons, then that was informed to Sita. Then Sita immediately came back, and she just offered her kids to Rama. Then she thought that my life is over, because this is the time to enter into my mother's womb, because she came from Earth. So she requested the goddess Earth, Bhudevi, and again the Earth was divided into two, and the goddess Bhudevi came out, and she took Sita in her home, in her on her lap, and again it was closed. This is the incidents that happened at the end. After that, Rama lived for 11 years. If you study the Ramayana very well, Rama, after losing Sita, means after the Sita who went to Bhudevi again, after that he ruled the kingdom for 11 years. After 11 years, he divided each and everything to his son, Lakshmana's son, Bharata's son, Shatrughna's son, everything. You have every name of the province also, kingdom also. Takshashila, what you call Takshashila University, that was Bharata's son who made it, the city.
Which is
Like
in
that, you have
Pakistan.
now it is in Pakistan, very unfortunately. But all these things were done divided by Rama only. Lakshmana went into the Sarayu river. Lakshmana is none other than the incarnation of Adishesha, the serpent bed of Lord Vishnu. He went he entered the Sarayu river in the morning, and in the evening, Rama also entered. On the same day, Rama also entered into the Sarayu river. That is the end of Ramayana, Rama's life.
So, is that not similar to committing suicide?
It's not suicide. Actually, it is his incarnation is over. So he entered into water, the sacred river.
See, essentially, it was a human avatar, so ending of life is necessary. So,
Yeah.
why is it? Why is hesitation to say it was suicide?
One second. We don't call in our Hindu Dharma Shastra, we don't call it as suicide, because in our Hindu Dharma Shastra it says that if a person wants to leave his life from this world, then either he can through pranayama, through yogic pranayama, he can leave, or he can enter into a huge river, sacred river like Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Sarayu, Kaveri, like this.
And
They
that
have
is
mentioned some list of.
okay.
That is life, or they can go to
Get into
the
fire.
get into fire, or they can go to the tip of the mountain. They can fall from that. These are all the options given by Dharma Shastra. So, according to the Dharma Shastra, he has done.
Okay, so see, how different are they from that time to this time? Today, you actually have options. So probably like how hanging by death is legal for government to do that, execute it if it is a criminal. But if a person does it, then it is a crime, because it's, if they, I mean, I'm just asking if the Dharma Shastra permits individuals' right to die in ABCDE ways, which were acceptable as per Dharma. Why not there can be FGHIJ way, which is even say hanging, or what in US they do, right? They inject some kind of a poison which kills them.
Mercy killing.
No, I'm talking about execution. They actually do a clear electric chair, and then they basically inject them with some poison, which kills them.
Within few seconds they will die.
Yeah, or mercy killing, where they basically overdose some kind of a drug, which basically does that. So mercy killing, that is only for patients, which are allowed in some states in America, and like Netherlands and Denmark, few countries in Europe. Whereas in Switzerland, which is actually close to what you're saying is Dharma Shastra, they actually have it in their law that any citizen, or they recognize any individual, has a right to take their life. Only thing is they need to declare that they are doing it in full consciousness, and they are not compelled to commit
out of their own will.
Out of their own will.
Yeah.
So then why not accept other ways also as acceptable? Why is only these ways are acceptable?
See, basically, I understood your question. Social rules will change from time to time and place to place. In those days, it was correct, but it may not be correct in today's life.
I mean, it may be correct in future. Be other things also correct, right? That's what I'm asking.
No, they have restricted to only those things, because that is ordained by our sages.
So how do you bring in these changes? Because see, now when you say this is another, I was skipping it as a last question to ask you. But yeah, after this, I'll come back to that. So why not allow new ways?
Definitely you can. That is what I am doing. See, I have studied and scrutinized Dharma Shastra completely. What the religious codes, rules have been written 5,000 years back, because Kali Yuga started on 18th February 3102 BC. I think it was Thursday. So from that time onwards, approximately 5,200 years, nobody has changed Dharma Shastra rules, religious rules till today. I
How do you
thought
change
this
it?
around, that's what I thought this 35 years back only. When I was a young boy only, because my thinking are totally logical, and it is totally, I don't want to struck into the traditional systems and other things. If it is logical, I'll agree that. If it is not logical, I don't want to agree with those kind of rules and regulations. That is how, and your question was how you want to bring. That is what I am doing. Even when I go to media channels, now, just 3 days back, I went to 2 days back, I went to VTV to explain about Pitru Paksha. Very clearly, I have told, because in our South India, most of the, not most, all the females don't perform Shraddha of their father or mother if they don't have, if their father or mother don't have any son. But in North India, definitely they will do it. This is what I am going to change the society. I want to change the society from wrong thinking towards the right and logical thinking. Like this, I am doing so many things. Wherever I go, I teach the people that this is what is ordained in Shastras, and you are not supposed to do like this, and you are supposed to change. In olden days, in when the Dharma Shastra was written, the stitched cloth was not allowed to wear. Now all the people are wearing. Why? Very simple question. Like this, in when the Dharma Shastra was written, religious rules and codes were written. At that time, the lifestyle was like that. But now the lifestyle has been totally changed. So you are supposed to go according to today's lifestyle. The simplest, I'd like to tell the whole world through you. Through you, definitely, I would like to tell the whole world. You ask anybody what is Dharma, what is the definition of Dharma. Let me see if anybody gives the definition of Dharma properly. After reading and doing a lot of researches in various or most of the branches of knowledge, I came to a conclusion that you can practice whatever you want. You can lead your life in whichever way you want, but it shouldn't hurt or disturb others. That is Dharma. That's all. Simplest way of definition is without hurting or disturbing others. Definitely, you should do whatever you want. It should never hurt others. That's all. Because ahimsa paramo dharmaha, that you find in our smritis also, and in our Mahabharata also.
Mahabharata says ahimsa paramo dharma.
Exactly.
But Mahabharata was all
Exactly.
about himsa, I thought.
No, no. Yeah, I see. It is not all about himsa actually. Again, I will come to
A
your question.
significant part of it.
Yeah. Dushte dushtam samacharet. Duryodhana was not a good person. So Krishna advised Duryodhana in several ways, not in one or two ways. Duryodhana advised, Vidura advised, Bhishma advised, Dronacharya advised, Krupacharya advised. Despite Duryodhana didn't listen to the words of anyone, because he was so arrogant, and he was under the delusion. What we call it as moha. Because Duryodhana, he himself says in Mahabharata, Janami dharmam nachame pravrittihi, Janami adharmam nachame nivrittihi. I know what is dharma, but I am not able to follow it. But I know what is adharma, but I am interested in that. He says like that. So actually, finally, when Lord Krishna requested, who is that, the Dhritarashtra, at least to give 5 villages instead of the whole kingdom, you just give 5 villages in the name of these 5 Pandavas. they'll be happy with that 5 villages and they'll lead their life with that only. Duryodhana, certainly he denied, he discarded that. I don't give even the place where even the tip of a nail stands. We call it as in Kannada we call it as ಒಂದು ಸೂಜಿ ನಿಂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಜಾಗ ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ಕೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. This is what the statement of Duryodhana. And Dushasana was also not good. Very interestingly, Karna was not a good person. Most of the people say that Karna was a very good person. If you have studied the Mahabharata properly, Karna was not at all a good person. He was a very good donor. I don't deny that part. One of the greatest Dani, I definitely accept that part. But he was not good. In fact, he is the one who instructed Duryodhana to bring Draupadi to the court. When she was in periods, they dragged her. Dushasana, he dragged Draupadi to the court. Then all those havoc things happened.
So that was suggested by Karna.
That was suggested by Karna. All the people don't know this. Simply they have studied, they have read some English books or translated books. That is why I always suggest and advise the people, don't study any translated works. Go to the original classical text. If you want to study if you want to know the real fact, go to the original text. Whether it is written in Sanskrit or in Hebrew language or in English language or in German language, whichever may be the language. If you want to study the what you call the Bible, you have to see the basic classical text. We may not be knowing Hebrew, but those who know, because basic classical text was written in English only. That was in old English actually, because you know it very well. English is totally divided into Old English, Medieval English, and Modern English. That was in Old English. Before that, Jews were there. Before the Christians, because Islam came after Jesus. So before the Jesus, Jews were there, Zoroastrians were there. So they used to follow the Hebrew system.
Yeah, last I remember reading is that there are 36 different Bibles.
Yeah, there are several Bibles, and they have several corrections also. They have made some corrections also. Like that, even in our Hindu Dharma Shastra also, in our religious code, people are supposed to make corrections. This was the aspiration of my father. Yesterday you were asking,
so
why
how does that
you want
get
to
where does that happen? How do you, I mean, the change you propose,
yeah,
how does it get standardized? I mean, is there a body, I mean, someone, some agency? How do these things?
no agency or nothing. I am a very straightforward person. I directly challenge all the scholars in the world. I don't mind. Directly I put a word to the scholars. If you are capable, talk to me, discuss with me, debate with me, anything whatever you want, you can do. The ultimate result will be from my side only. Whatever I say is right, that's all. Because I have scrutinized each and every part of the branches of knowledge.
Okay.
I think in all the possible ways, whether this is correct or this is wrong, whether it hurts anyone. Now, my first policy is, if I want to make any new religious code, or if I want to change the older version into new version, first I think is whether it is going to hurt any person or not. If it doesn't hurt any person, definitely I'll try to put it. Otherwise, I don't.
Well, it's difficult to come up with anything which will not hurt anybody, right? Because there's
Exactly.
always
See,
somebody who
even
is
when
a
Buddha,
classicist will always feel that you're fundamentally changing what is ordained.
definitely,
Right? So
definitely I
they will
want
be
to
upset
change the
about it.
fundamental things. Definitely I want to change the fundamental things which are not logical and which are written in olden days. Perhaps that may be right in that lifestyle. For this lifestyle, it has to be upgraded and updated. How you upgrade and update your mobile phones and other things, even religious code has to be updated and upgraded.
See, I think that is also the fundamental definition of science, right? There is no finality to
Yeah.
it. It is organic.
Exactly.
It's
They
evolution.
see most of the concepts doesn't have universal law. Some will be having like you should not steal, you should not lie. These are all universal truth, all time truth.
Right.
You should never trouble a person or trouble any living being. These are all time truth. But making some social or religious rules, it has to vary, because in Yajnavalkya Smriti it says very well. In Yajnavalkya Smriti it says that you are supposed to, you are allowed to, you are supposed to change the religious rules according to the forthcoming lifestyle.
Your own circumstances.
Yeah, depending upon the circumstances only. Even in court also they say that based on circumstantial evidences,
So,
because judge has not seen that. Based on circumstantial evidences means they scrutinize each and everything in all the 360-degree angle. Then they will come to a conclusion. They will come to a verdict. That is what I want to do. I think and I just put it in all the 360-degree angle. If I don't get any kind of negativity, definitely I want to introduce a new system to the whole world. Whether you are going to accept it or not, it is left to your brain and other things.
well,
Even
I
Basavana came.
I hope you will have to be really prepared, because I think a lot of these comments will get a lot of people even criticizing you on
I
what you
don't mind criticizing me at all, because
Okay.
I know if you have the logical thinking, if you have broad-mindedness and logical thinking, definitely you are going to accept my principles or my thinking. That's all. If you are narrow-minded, the whole world I am saying, if you are narrow-minded, I can't help you.
Well, I understand you have another engagement that you have to rush to.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
thank you
definitely.
so much, Shama. It was wonderful to
Okay,
have you, and to the audience and listeners. The links
okay.
he was mentioning about those videos, though they are in Kannada, those of you can understand, you can look up the links given below this podcast, and also follow his channel, because he's going to soon start with the inserting English subtitles to some of the Kannada videos, and also make future videos also in English along with Kannada. So you
Yeah.
you may find it interesting and easy to follow it with those contents. So do follow his channels as well, and do reach out. And those of you who have disagreement in what he said, he welcomes you to come for a debate. So please do write. Resist name calling. Come as an for an intellectual conversation, and he's very open to have a conversation with you. So thank you so much, and do share this with who you think will appreciate and are interested in these kind of things, and do follow and do come back. We will try and get one more time with him to get his perspectives on future. We are Future
Okay.
Fast, so follow Future Fast. Shama, thank you once again for being part of Future.
Oh, thank you, Anjana. Thank you.